Have you ever felt that subtle whisper inside you? That persistent feeling that there's something more waiting to unfold in your life? It often comes in those quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts, perhaps watching the sun rise or listening to the gentle patter of rain against your window. That whisper isn't just your imagination. It's your inner wisdom trying to tell you something extraordinary. You see, within every human being lies a vast reservoir of untapped potential, waiting to be discovered and unleashed. Scientists have found that we typically use only a fraction of our brain's capability, and psychologists have long studied the remarkable ability of individuals to transcend their perceived limitations. But this isn't just about brain power or physical capabilities. It's about something far more profound. Think of yourself as a seed containing all the information needed to become a magnificent tree. Just as that seed doesn't question its potential to grow, you too possess everything required to transform into your highest self. The question isn't whether you have this potential. It's whether you're ready to acknowledge and embrace it. Right now, as you read these words, something is shifting. Perhaps you've noticed small changes in your perspective lately, or maybe you've been experiencing an inexplicable urge to make changes in your life. These aren't coincidences. They're signs that you're ready to begin an extraordinary journey of self-discovery and personal transformation. Throughout human history, people have experienced moments of profound personal awakening that changed the course of their lives. From ancient philosophers to modern-day thought leaders, countless individuals have documented this universal pattern of transformation that seems to be woven into the very fabric of human experience. Modern psychology has a name for this phenomenon: self-actualization. Abraham Maslow, in his groundbreaking research, discovered that humans have an innate drive to reach their full potential. But what's particularly fascinating is how this drive manifests across different cultures and time periods, always following a similar pattern. Think about the most significant breakthroughs in your own life. Didn't they often come after periods of questioning, of feeling that something needed to change? This is no accident. Neuroscience shows us that our brains are constantly rewiring themselves, creating new neural pathways based on our experiences and beliefs. When we begin to question our current reality, we literally create new possibilities in our minds. You're not just reading these words by chance. Your presence here in this moment is part of a larger pattern, a pattern of growth and transformation that has been calling to you. The fact that you're engaging with these ideas suggests that you're ready to step into a new chapter of your life. Dr. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist who revolutionized our understanding of human consciousness, once wrote about what he called the individuation process, the journey of becoming who we truly are. His discoveries weren't just theoretical. They were based on decades of observing how people naturally evolve and transform when they embrace their authentic selves. But Jung wasn't alone in this understanding. Throughout history, wise teachers and scholars have pointed to this same truth. The ancient Greek philosopher Socrates taught, "Know thyself," while Eastern traditions speak of awakening to our true nature. Modern researchers like Dr. Brené Brown have validated these age-old insights through rigorous scientific study, showing how self-awareness and authenticity lead to profound personal transformation. What's remarkable is how these different sources, separated by centuries and continents, all point to the same fundamental truth. Transformation isn't about becoming something new. It's about uncovering who you've always been. This isn't just philosophy. It's supported by the latest findings in positive psychology and neuroscience. You're part of this lineage of human growth and discovery. The same force that guided these great thinkers and teachers is alive in you, waiting to be acknowledged and expressed. There's a reason you're feeling this stirring in your soul right now. Science tells us that humans have natural cycles of growth and transformation, much like the seasons of the year. Research in chronobiology, the study of natural timing processes, shows that we experience regular periods of heightened potential for change. You're standing at such a threshold now. Perhaps you've noticed subtle signs: increased awareness of your habits and patterns, a growing dissatisfaction with the status quo, or sudden insights about your life's direction. These aren't random occurrences. They're indicators that you're entering a natural period of transformation. Think of it like a caterpillar entering its chrysalis. The timing isn't random. It happens when conditions are exactly right. Similarly, your readiness for change isn't accidental. It's the result of everything you've experienced and learned up to this point. The fascinating thing about transformation is that once it begins, it creates its own momentum. Psychologists call this the positive feedback loop, where small positive changes create conditions for even bigger positive changes. You're not just approaching a turning point. You're about to enter an accelerated phase of personal growth and discovery. You've always known you were different, not in the way that separates people, but in the way that marks someone for a unique purpose. Ever since childhood, you've felt that subtle but persistent pull towards something greater. Remember those moments when you caught a glimpse of your true potential? Perhaps it was during a challenge you overcame, or in that instant when everything seemed to click into place. The scientific community has identified what they call peak experiences, moments when individuals operate at their highest capacity. These aren't random occurrences. They're glimpses of your true capabilities. Research shows that these moments can be cultivated and expanded, turning occasional peaks into sustained plateaus of excellence. Your journey isn't just about personal achievement. It's about answering a deeper calling. Every doubt you've faced, every obstacle you've overcome, has been preparing you for this moment. You are not reading these words by accident. Your presence here is the result of countless choices, each leading you closer to your true path. Deep within your consciousness lies an intelligence far greater than you might imagine. Neuroscientists have discovered that your brain processes millions of bits of information every second, yet you're consciously aware of only a fraction of this data. This means your intuition, that gut feeling you sometimes get, is actually your mind processing complex patterns at an incredible speed. This inner compass has been guiding you all along, even when you weren't aware of it. Think about the times when you just knew something was right or wrong. That wasn't just random instinct. It was your deeper intelligence at work. As you begin to trust this internal guidance system, you'll notice something remarkable. Decisions become clearer, opportunities appear more obvious, and your path forward starts to reveal itself naturally. This isn't mystical thinking. It's your brain operating at its optimal level, free from the constraints of doubt and fear. The key is learning to listen to and trust this inner wisdom. When you align your conscious choices with your deeper knowing, you create a powerful synergy that accelerates your personal growth and transformation. As you step into this new phase of your journey, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts in how you perceive the world and your place in it. These changes start small. Perhaps you'll find yourself responding differently to old situations, or discovering new interests that seem to appear out of nowhere. Like a flower slowly opening its petals to the sun, your consciousness is expanding in ways both subtle and profound. This expansion isn't just psychological. It's also physiological. Research in neuroplasticity shows that as you embrace new ways of thinking and being, your brain literally creates new neural pathways. Each time you step out of your comfort zone, you're not just changing your mind, you're rewiring your brain for greater possibility. Scientists have observed that during periods of intense personal growth, brain activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for higher-order thinking and decision-making, increases significantly. The beauty of this process is that it builds upon itself. Each small step forward creates momentum for the next one. This phenomenon, known as the compound effect, works much like compound interest in finance. Small, consistent actions accumulate over time to create exponential results. As you continue to expand your consciousness and capabilities, you'll find that what once seemed impossible now feels within reach. Consider how a spacecraft uses gravitational assist to gain speed. It harnesses the energy of one planet's orbit to propel itself further into space. Similarly, each new understanding and achievement in your life becomes a launching pad for even greater expansion. This isn't just positive thinking. It's the natural result of aligned action and focused intention working in harmony with universal principles of growth and development. You're entering what psychologists call the breakthrough zone, that sweet spot where challenge meets capability. This is where real transformation happens. It's not about pushing yourself to exhaustion or forcing change through willpower alone. Instead, it's about finding that perfect balance between stretch and support, much like an athlete training for peak performance. Think of it like strength training. The right amount of resistance builds muscle, while too much can cause injury. Similarly, personal growth requires the right balance of challenge and rest. You'll know you're in this zone when you feel both excited and slightly uncomfortable. That's the edge of your current capabilities, where new possibilities emerge. Research in performance psychology shows that this state of optimal tension creates the ideal conditions for breakthrough experiences. This zone is different for everyone, but the principles remain the same. It's about taking consistent, meaningful steps that push you just beyond your current comfort level. Sports psychologists call this the zone of proximal development, the space where growth is challenging enough to be engaging but not so difficult as to be overwhelming. As you navigate this space, you'll discover resources and strengths you never knew you had. The key to staying in the breakthrough zone is maintaining what psychologists call dynamic equilibrium, a state of balanced tension between your current reality and your emerging potential. Like a tightrope walker, you'll learn to find stability in motion, confidence in uncertainty, and strength in flexibility. This isn't just about pushing forward. It's about developing the wisdom to know when to push and when to pause, when to act and when to reflect. Your breakthrough zone is uniquely yours, calibrated to your personal journey and pace of growth. Some days you'll make giant leaps forward. Other days will be about consolidating your gains and preparing for the next advance. Both are equally valuable parts of the process. The magic happens when you learn to trust this natural rhythm of expansion and integration. The secret to lasting transformation lies not in forcing change through sheer willpower, but in understanding and working with your brain's natural capacity for growth. Neuroscience has revealed that our brains operate on what's called the reward prediction error, the difference between what we expect and what we experience. When this gap is optimally challenging, our brains release neurotransmitters that facilitate learning and change. This insight provides the key to your transformation. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life at once, you'll create strategic prediction errors that guide your brain toward positive change. It's like adjusting the temperature of water 1 degree at a time. Small enough changes that your system can adapt to, but consistent enough to create meaningful transformation over time. The process begins with what psychologists call cognitive reframing, learning to see your current situation from new perspectives. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about expanding your mental models to include more possibilities. When you change how you perceive your circumstances, you literally change the neural pathways in your brain, creating new opportunities for growth and development. Research in neuroplasticity shows that this kind of intentional mental training can create lasting changes in brain structure and function. By consistently practicing new ways of thinking and being, you're not just changing your mind, you're rebuilding your neural architecture from the ground up. Your transformation rests on 3 fundamental pillars, each supported by both ancient wisdom and modern science. Here are the practical steps to implement them in your life. First pillar, conscious awareness. Begin each day with a 5-minute mindfulness practice. Research shows that regular mindfulness meditation increases gray matter in regions of the brain associated with self-awareness, emotional regulation, and decision-making. Start by simply observing your thoughts without judgment, gradually extending the duration as you become more comfortable with the practice. Second pillar, strategic action. Identify one small action you can take each day toward your goals. Behavioral scientists call this minimal viable progress, the smallest step that still moves you forward. Write down your intended action each morning and review your progress each evening. This creates what psychologists call an implementation intention, which has been shown to dramatically increase the likelihood of following through. Third pillar, adaptive resilience. Develop what researchers call growth-minded resilience by reframing challenges as opportunities for learning. Keep a daily log of obstacles you encounter and the lessons they teach you. Studies show that this practice not only builds resilience but also accelerates learning and development. Each of these pillars reinforces the others, creating a stable foundation for sustained growth. The key is consistency, not perfection. Research shows that it's better to practice these principles imperfectly but regularly than to strive for perfect execution and give up when you fall short. Let's explore how these principles manifest in real life through compelling examples. Consider Sarah, a software developer who felt stuck in her career. By applying the 3 pillars, she didn't just change jobs. She revolutionized her entire approach to work. Starting with just 10 minutes of morning reflection, she began noticing patterns in her daily challenges. Within 6 months, she had developed an innovative problem-solving methodology that her company now uses as a standard practice. Or take Marcus, an aspiring entrepreneur who struggled with self-doubt. Instead of trying to eliminate his fears, he learned to use them as indicators of where growth was needed. He started with tiny experiments in his comfort zone, speaking up in small meetings, sharing ideas with trusted colleagues. Each small success built upon the last, creating a cascade of positive changes. Today, he runs a successful consulting business, helping others navigate similar transformations. These aren't isolated success stories. Research from the Harvard Business School shows that individuals who approach change through systematic small steps are 300% more likely to achieve lasting transformation than those who attempt dramatic overhauls. The key in both Sarah's and Marcus's cases wasn't just what they did. It was how they integrated new behaviors consistently over time. Your journey may look different, but the underlying principles remain the same. Every person who has successfully transformed their life has followed this pattern of consistent, mindful progress combined with strategic action. The power to transform your life has always resided within you. Science confirms what ancient wisdom has long taught. Your brain is literally designed for growth and adaptation. Each time you step into a new challenge, you're not just changing your circumstances, you're evolving your very nature. Consider the remarkable findings from epigenetics, showing how our thoughts and actions can actually influence which genes are expressed in our bodies. This means that through conscious choice and consistent action, you're not just changing your habits, you're literally reprogramming your biological blueprint for success. Your potential for growth is virtually limitless. Studies in neuroplasticity have shattered old beliefs about fixed capabilities, showing that we can continue developing new skills and abilities throughout our entire lives. The key is understanding that transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about awakening the dormant capabilities that have always existed within you. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every success story started with a single step. Your journey of transformation isn't just possible, it's your natural state of being. The universe itself operates on principles of constant evolution and growth, and you are no different. The time for passive consumption of information is over. Knowledge without action is like a seed without soil. It holds potential, but requires proper conditions to grow. Your transformation begins the moment you decide to move from understanding to implementation. Start today by choosing one small action from the 3 pillars discussed earlier. Perhaps it's setting aside 5 minutes for morning mindfulness, or documenting one learning experience from your day. The size of the action matters less than your commitment to consistency. Create what psychologists call an accountability framework for yourself. Write down your intended actions for the next week. Share your commitments with someone you trust, or better yet, find a growth partner who's on a similar journey. Research shows that shared commitments increase follow-through by up to 85%. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, creates momentum for further growth. The neural pathways in your brain strengthen with each repetition, making positive change increasingly natural over time. As we conclude this exploration of your transformative potential, remember that this ending is really just a beginning. The journey you're embarking on has no final destination. It's an ongoing process of growth, discovery, and evolution. Think of yourself as a living masterpiece, constantly being refined and enhanced. Every experience, every challenge, every triumph adds another brush stroke to the canvas of your life. The beauty lies not in reaching some imagined perfect state, but in the continuous unfolding of your potential. You stand now at the threshold of something extraordinary, not because of what you've read, but because of what you're about to do with this knowledge. The universe has encoded within you everything you need for a remarkable transformation. Your task now is simply to begin, to take that first step into the expanded version of yourself that awaits. As you close this chapter and step into your new beginning, carry with you this truth. The power to transform your life has always been yours. It lives in your choices, your actions, and most importantly, in your unwavering commitment to growth. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Your step begins now.